Hey, welcome back to IELTS IQ. Today we have a great speaking part 2 topic. So let's jump in. Alright, on the screen you can see our topic for today. Describe a picture or photograph of you that you like. That's pretty easy, right? I mean, we all have photos of us, whether it's a baby picture, family gathering, from your last holiday. Maybe you were just hanging out with some mates, going to eat a hot pot and you decided to take a quick selfie. Either way, we all have photos of us. So start thinking of one that you like, okay? Photography. Alright, with that out of the way, let's go to note making. Here are the points from our task card, where it was drawn or taken, when it was drawn or taken, who took or drew it. You can see we've got these options of drawn or taken. Perhaps maybe somebody drew a picture of you, maybe a relative, a sibling, or you went to the beach and there was some guy sitting at the side and drawing funny pictures of people. You have the freedom to choose a picture or photograph. And lastly, explain how you feel about it. Pause the video, make sure you jot down some notes before we go any further. Starting off, front garden. Look how basic that is, right? Where it was taken, well, my front garden. In the UK, houses often have a larger garden at the back and a small garden at the front. Sailor outfit. Okay, that's already sounding kind of interesting. I can imagine a sailor man in his outfit. Spade and plant pot. Okay, so I can already get an idea of what's going to be in this picture. When I was 2, maybe 3. Okay, so it's going to be a young picture of me. Who took or drew it? Paternal uncle. Great phrase to specify my uncle from my father's side. Amusing. Pretty okay. Vivid memory. Great collocation for talking about memories. And lastly, heartwarming. Very nice adjective. Cherished memory. Kind of at the beginning, similar phrase to hold dear. Pretty much the same meaning there. Okay, with this out of the way, let's jump into the first part of the talk. Alright, here we go. So it was taken in the front garden of my family home, where I was playing with my cousins. In the photo, I was dressed in a sailor man outfit, which made me look quite old-fashioned and cute, if I do say so myself. I was holding an old spade and digging a hole in the ground. In my other hand, I had an empty plant pot, probably imagining that I was about to plant some kind of tree. My cousins were also in the garden, watching me with anticipation, curious about what I was going to do next. Alright, class, you can see I'm really kind of painting that image of what's in this photo. Me, front garden, a sailor man outfit, my cousins standing around, right? I've got a spade, the tool that we use for digging. So I've got a spade and an empty plant pot. Can you imagine this photo? Well, stick around to the end and I'll be sure to put it in the video. Alright, so where it was taken, I've answered this point very nicely with some descriptive words about what's in the photo. Let's move on to that next point, which is who took or drew it. Well, it was taken by my paternal uncle, who must have found the scene quite amusing. Actually, I remember standing up and seeing him holding a camera, and despite only being 2 or 3, it's still a vivid memory for me. If he hadn't taken that photo, I probably wouldn't have remembered that moment so clearly, though. Alright, great responses here. You can throw in some openers like well, actually, though, as I did while reading this script. You can see vivid memory, paternal uncle. Have a quick look at must have. Look at how I've contracted this. Must have found the scene quite amusing. Sounds really nice contracted. Here we also have a third conditional. If he hadn't taken that photo, contracted, I probably wouldn't have remembered. Whoa, a double contraction. Wouldn't have, would not have, wouldn't have. Very nice in spoken English. We get that lovely flow. Wouldn't have remembered. If that's kind of hard, you can just contract would not, wouldn't have remembered. Also works just as well. So maybe jot down a third conditional that you can use in your talk. Moving on. And explain how you feel about it. Looking at this photo now, I find it both funny and heartwarming. It reminds me of how imaginative and playful I was as a child. Always pretending to be some kind of character. Alright, again, look how joyful I am. Look at my emotions when I'm talking and imagining of this photo. You need to be doing the same, okay? Think of this like a performance. You need to perform a story for part 2. Funny and heartwarming, imaginative and playful. We often use double adjectives together in English. So why don't you think of 2 similar adjectives you could use for this part of your talk? Okay, that brings us to our conclusion. Just like our introduction, I believe the conclusion in speaking should be relatively short, 1, maybe 2 sentences, basically summarizing what you've already covered. And let's have a look how I have done that. My favorite phrase for concluding, all in all, spoken very quickly, all in all. All in all, this picture is a cherished memory for me. It represents the innocence and joy of childhood, as well as the strong bond I had with my cousins during those early years. Really simple. That's it. How easy was that? Alright class, as we've been going through, you should have been taking some notes, trying to use some of the vocabulary that we've gone through today. What I'll do quickly is I'll pop up the whole talk, the whole script on the screen right there. So if you wanted, you could pause the video and revisit some of those points. Okay? Alright, well, thank you for tuning in today. I hope to see you on the next episode. Please give me a like. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and take care.